Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Renatus J.A.M. I just get excited every once in a while when we get started, you know?
Yeah, you do.
I get really excited.
I do too.
My name is Jay Stark, and joining me as always is my fearless co-host,
Mr. Matt Snyder.
Mr.
With the
Matt Snyder.
echo. Can you hear that?
I can. There's a total echo right now.
It's the back room.
Are we in an echo chamber?
Yeah.
Is that what that means?
I don't know.
I don't think that's what that means.
That means when you.
It's the NSA's listening in.
That means I think when we both rant about politics, but we both have the same mindset. That's what an echo chamber is.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I think the microphone in the back room is on or something, and yeah, I don't know. Oh, there it goes.
Okay, I wonder if everybody else could hear that.
I don't know. That was crazy.
You guys?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh,
I
just realized I need my product placement.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
It. I don't know. I need to
you make it there.
Just hold it there.
Oh, thank you.
All.
We'll call you Mana White. That sounds wrong. That sounds very wrong.
Moving on.
All right. Oh, man.
I think that's the first time I've ever said that.
Matt's like, okay, we've taken enough left turns already. So I tell you what, I am today, again, just filled with gratitude for Renatus and for what we get to do. And that has so much to do with the wonderful people that do it with us. You know, I love our marketers. I love our family. In fact, the first time that I heard that phrase, family, friends that are family,
yeah.
I thought that applies perfectly to the Renatus community.
Totally agree.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love what we do, and I love that it inspires me. I get to be inspired every single day as I come here. You know, I forget that people don't love what they do sometimes. There are people that don't actually love their work.
So I heard, I mean, this was 10 years ago, but I was listening to the radio, driving to a place that I worked that I actually didn't love.
Didn't love.
I did not.
Did not love it.
I did, and then I didn't, and it's a long story. But
okay.
Funny enough, they were talking about this on the radio, and it always stuck with me because they were saying 9 out of 10 participants polled or questioned about this hated their job and did not love what they do. That's 90%.
That's really sad.
That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, that really. Because I mean, you know, I've done that where I've worked at a place I didn't like, and that's miserable. That's miserable. Like, it's, you know, you just every day drones on.
You know, I'm just happy to be here.
Me too.
I'm happy to.
Super grateful for it.
Yeah, to feel the inspiration, and I'm happy. I'm so happy, and happy doesn't feel like a big enough, grandiose enough, deep enough word.
Yeah.
I feel true peace and inspiration in getting to work with the Renatus family, in getting to hear the success stories as people are making progress, as people are changing their own lives and are seeing the results from those changes.
Me too. And you know, life's too short. So
yeah,
go do what you love. Find a way to make it work.
Yes. That's not to say that there are not hard things to do.
Well, sure.
There are always, in any worthwhile endeavor, there will be hard things to accomplish.
Sure. I mean, of course, that's life.
Yeah, I just think sometimes I say we collectively as if there's more than one of me. Sometimes I get too comfortable and get addicted to the comfort.
Yeah.
And I have to like break that cycle of addiction. And I have to make myself deliberately uncomfortable again to remember the excitement and inspiration of progress, the passion of it, you know?
I know exactly, because, yeah, I purposely have and somewhat consistently like do things I don't want to do.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of doing something I don't want to do.
Like knowing that you can force yourself to do it.
The mental exercise that's required there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah.
And it makes life better.
Oh, it so does. And it makes it just so rewarding. There is some sort of, I don't know if it's like a physiological rush that you feel or if it's an emotional satisfaction or what it is, but there's something that comes along with it when you do something that, one, you didn't want to do,
Yeah.
you knew was going to be hard, difficult, or even something that's truly mundane that you don't love, but then you get on the other side of it and you're like, not only did I do that, but I could force myself to do that thing that I didn't want to do.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
or wasn't inspired to do or whatever.
Totally. Absolutely. And yeah, I think you get I don't know. We need to have Andrew Huberman out on the podcast and talk about dopamine release.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I would love to hear the people that are on the line with us. I'd love to hear how you guys feel when you overcome or do or complete a hard, a mundane, or to complete a task that you just otherwise did not want to do or would not have otherwise done.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause,
I
I mean,
want
that's-
to hear those stories.
You know, it could, and when James Lawrence was here for the national conference a couple years ago, he said that everybody's hard is different.
Yeah.
And I love that because it's so true, right?
Very.
What's hard for you may be easy for someone else. What's easy or what's hard for them may be easy for me or whatever.
Yep.
And each one of our hards is different. And so I love finding what is hard. And it's funny, I was talking to my son about this the other day. I said, you know, a lot of times when you feel that anxiety, and then his anxiety was about asking a girl to dance, right? He was feeling it. And I said, dude, you should not only do it, but you should use that anxiety that you feel as the fuel to do it.
Absolutely.
And when you start feeling that anxiety, you should know, oh, that's the trigger for me to do something exciting.
Yep. So how did it go? Did he do it?
Oh, she shot him down hard.
So that's what I was just
She
gonna.
was brutal.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is that's the next lesson, man. Is
Oh,
if,
yeah.
If she shoots him down, you gotta learn how to take that rejection. It's a lot of times people take it personal,
Yeah.
but for me particularly, especially back in that dating kind of space,
Yeah.
I came to the realization at some point along the way, like this person doesn't know me at all.
Right.
And so
And she shot him down with the premise of, I have a boyfriend.
bro,
As if somehow dancing
that's
was
the
a violation of trust or...
no,
I
she.
don't know. They're young.
Can I say
They're
it?
young.
Yeah, AJ.
Yeah.
She didn't have a boyfriend. I'm sorry, brother. I too have eaten that crow, and it's just it's a part of the deal, man. But you know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't mean much. She doesn't know you.
AJ's my boy's name. That's his
Yeah,
name. Just
yeah,
for anybody
yeah,
on the line
yeah.
who was like, AJ who? What?
Yeah.
That's my son's name. So
Way to go, AJ.
yeah, he's a great kid. Anyway.
I remember doing that at an Olive Garden. So I was with all my friends.
Oh.
There were probably
that's
13 or 14 of us
That's
that are all sitting at a
bad.
table, and there are a couple of cute girls over at this table across from us, and everybody is like, dude, like, one of you guys should go ask her. Everybody's like, go ask her out,
right.
whatever. And nobody had the guts to do it, so I just stood up, went over there.
you were the
and
sacrificial lamb.
I got the boyfriend response.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, all right. So, well, he can come too. It's just a date. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so much. All right.
Yeah, people.
So before
It's a joke. It's not a Utah thing.
Before
okay?
we get oh my gosh.
It's a joke.
I was about to say before we get down the rabbit hole, and then Matt's like, woo.
That's right. Dive right in.
All right. So Mr. Snyder, coming back to Renatus and being filled with gratitude, what is on the horizon? What is new and exciting?
Well, we are in day 2, if I'm not mistaken, of the 10-day challenge.
10-day challenge.
That's right. So to challenge you for 10
Okay.
days,
Here
make
we
your
go.
business better.
We have talked about the 10-day challenge quite a bit.
Yeah.
On this podcast.
Sure.
We love the 10-day challenge. We endorse it. We have seen people make phenomenal progress as they do that hard thing, right?
Yeah.
As they do that thing they wouldn't normally do and are able to force themselves out of their little comfort circle and they do a hard thing and they make progress.
Yep.
Here, instead of going into the 10-day challenge, I want to challenge our listeners right now to go to the post that Bob Snyder made about the 10-day challenge and find the Easter egg.
There's an Easter egg.
There is an Easter
That's
egg.
right.
Mr. Michael Huggins sent this one over.
That's
over to
right.
me.
There's an Easter egg.
There is
Go
an
find
Easter
it.
egg.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Go find it. It's a Renatus J.A.M. Easter egg.
We were laughing.
Oh, yeah. Funny. So the 10-day challenge will go for the next 8 days. If you missed day number 1, today's day number 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you missed day 1, don't fret. We can help you out. Reach out to customer service at myrenatus.com, and they will be able to help you out, help you get caught up. For anybody who wants to participate in the 10-day challenge, for anybody who's looking to make progress in your Renatus opportunity, for anybody who's looking for challenging themselves to do a hard thing, the 10-day challenge is the right place to be.
Absolutely.
That's the reason why we
Do
call
hard
them
things.
right?
Yeah.
That's the reason why we call them Spartans.
That's right. We should call them. Well, actually, I just thought there's probably gonna be like a trademark on the name. I was gonna say
Of what?
Goggins.
Right? Oh, yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's what I think every time. Do hard things.
I don't think I don't think he would be too offended by us saying, do hard
do
things.
something difficult.
Yeah.
And when you get done with that difficult thing, you can call yourself a
Goggins.
a
I don't know. Until you've run on
Goggins
broken
Spartan.
legs, I don't
yeah,
think
I know
you
it's
can
like
really call
10-day
yourself.
challenge is pretty
Yeah.
mild compared to what
Yeah.
he's up to, but
But still, everybody's heart is different. And the first time when he decided to go into the Navy SEALs, we're talking about David Goggins here, just in case you're unaware.
yeah.
When he decided to try out to become a SEAL, there was day number 1 for him.
Mm-hmm.
There was that first step of a 1,000-mile journey, and he knew he had to take it, and he couldn't even run to the end of the block,
Yeah.
but without feeling like he had to sit down, feeling
Yeah.
like he was going to pass out. So everybody's heart is different.
I think back to James Lawrence talking about that. He was, I can't remember if it was his mom.
It
or
was his mom.
Mother-in-law. It's his mom.
Yep.
His mom ran, I think, like the last 5 miles of the marathon.
It was
him.
actually the 5K.
The 5K. 5K. So, but that was incredibly difficult for her. And he talked about how, like he's conditioned to running marathons. So for him to run a marathon is just as difficult as it is for her to run a 5K because she's not she's not conditioned to
Right.
it, And so,
Right.
yeah, everybody's heart is different.
And David Goggins really highlights the point that so much of our limitations are imposed by our mind.
Yeah.
They are not actual limitations. They're self-imposed barriers.
Yeah.
Where we know when we cross this barrier, things are going to get hard.
Yep. Yeah, it's like a self-protective
Yeah.
measure inside your brain, but he talks about this 40% rule in his
Yep.
book and stuff like that. It's phenomenal, right? And it's a great analogy or kind of visualization to think about, when you're done, like say with a workout or something like that. He's saying you've only gone 40% of what your body is actually capable of.
Yeah.
You got 60% more left in the tank.
Incredible. It's so incredible that my family has actually adopted as our family motto, we are Starks. We can do hard things.
I love it. That's awesome.
It's up in my office. I don't know if you've seen it, that little cutting board that AJ built for me.
All right.
Yeah, I'll show it to you. All right, so 10-day challenge, Spartan, do hard things, right?
That's right.
Be an example to those around you of being able to overcome your self-imposed limiting beliefs.
And it sounds like to all of our teenage lady listeners out there, AJ's looking for a date.
You know what? I know that I'm biased. I know that I truly am. He is a good-looking kid.
Yeah, he's a total stud.
He's a good-looking kid.
He's got the hair, the muscles, the tan. He's tall. I mean, he's everything the ladies want. So, yeah.
He's a wrestler, a football player, lacrosse player, and he's also a scholar, right? He's in 11th or 12th grade advanced math in 10th grade.
Wow, brains and brawn.
Yeah, he's a smart kid. He's a good-looking kid. He's
him up, ladies.
Going places. Anyway, all right. In other news,
yes,
we have exciting regionals. We only have 3 left, so we're halfway, 50% complete. 3 down, 3 to go.
These are the exciting ones.
Bob always says every single year, he says, I feel bad for the first city that we go to because we're always so rough.
Yeah.
He says, by the time you get to 3, 4, 5, and 6, we're just polished.
You're refined.
They've
got their presentations down. They know how to deliver.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have coming up this week, Fort Lauderdale.
Yep.
So if you are anywhere near or can be anywhere near Fort Lauderdale, Florida, be there. Make the sacrifice to go. Whether it's a sacrifice of time, of cost, of I'm going to miss my child's event,
Birth,
whatever it is.
Who cares? Be there.
I wasn't going to say birth.
I'm just kidding.
But
I think if you're getting married, having a baby, or somebody's dying, it's probably
that's probably a pretty good
excuse.
But going to your child's 700th soccer game is probably not the right.
I mean, you're able to make your own excuses. Free country.
Anyway, so Fort Lauderdale, be there. Bob Snyder's going to be there. Scott Rowe's going to be there. Nancy Rowe's going to be there. Antonio Lobo, Debbie Worthington. I just lost his name. The creator of the Renatus iOS system, Don Fowler, is going to be there. I think Michael Huggins is going to be there. Bob Tierney's going to be there.
It's going to be a full house.
Full house. Eric Counts is going to be there.
Oh, it's incredible. Full house of leadership, of knowledge, of trainers, of especially people you don't normally see.
Right.
In Florida, right? So the Florida crew is going to get quite a.
Oh, and I should warn you. I should warn everybody on the line. Every time Bob comes back from Florida, he says the same thing. He goes, their energy is insane.
Yeah.
He goes, they have so much fun.
Yeah.
They are laughing and singing and dancing and clapping and that's funny because that sounds more like a revival than it is a business family meeting.
Right.
But
they're just excited down there.
Oh yeah, and he comes back so inspired. He's like, that was a meeting. So if you want to go to that meeting, it's in Fort Lauderdale and it starts this Friday and Saturday.
That's right. Skip your 700th soccer game
practice. I've been to so many soccer games.
I know.
So many.
I know you have.
And the funniest thing is it's a beautiful sport. It really is. It takes so much skill and talent.
Sure.
It is not a what do they call it? I'm trying to think. There's the weakest link, strongest link sports, right? So
team sports?
Well, yeah, you got team sports where the team is based on the weakest link. Then you have the strongest link sports where you're judged on the strongest link. So, for example, basketball is the strongest link sport.
Oh,
you can have an all-star out on the court, and he can carry the team.
Gotcha.
And then soccer, on the other hand, is a weakest link sport.
Yeah.
So even though there are those all-stars out there, if those all-stars are not supported by a team that can get the ball from one end of the field to the other, then they'll never have an opportunity to score. So it's a weakest link sport. So it's really a beautiful sport because everybody has to be in sync to be effective.
That's cool.
I have watched a lot of soccer. Or as some of my European friends will call it, football.
That's right.
All right, so we have Fort Lauderdale. Next week is Salt Lake City, and I know Richard Stock is just amping up. He's bringing in all the crews from all the surrounding states are coming into Salt Lake to just have a great time. They've got trainers.
The entire state of Idaho will be there. So
I didn't say that. So not the entire state.
The entire state of Idaho.
The entire state of Idaho will not be at the Salt Lake Regional.
The entire state of Idaho inside of Renatus.
Maybe. A lot of them.
Close.
Most of them. Okay. So we're going to have a lot of people from Idaho.
There's a lot of people
that are coming down. But we've got people coming from Nevada. We've got people coming from, well, heck, I mean, we got the, the one guy's from Florida. There's another, and it doesn't even matter. There's a lot of people coming in for Salt Lake. It's going to be an awesome event. And then we also have Phoenix right on the tail of that. Now,
That's
Phoenix has the blessing, the curse of being the last regional of the season.
Sure.
Because it's last, it's closest to Thanksgiving. But you're going to get the most polished presentations. You're going to get all of the presenters feeling relaxed and comfortable and maybe even in a more willing mood to share even more because they know that they're on the tail end of the season. And you're going to find that all of the participants that are coming have a realistic expectation of what's going on. So it's going to be a rocking event. And I had a conversation with Bill Predabon yesterday.
Yeah.
Just texting back and forth, me and him. I tell you what, he's putting it together. he is spending some time, some dollars, and some energy to make sure that this thing is going to crank.
I look forward
It's going to be awesome.
to hearing all about it, man. Old Billy P out there making it happen.
Billy P.
That's right.
That's right.
There you
So,
go.
a couple of other announcements just really quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to fly through these really quick because I want to get some really good time
Yeah, we
with
need to get to our guest.
our guest, speaker, trainer, host, he is definitely following the rules on what we told him to do.
That's right.
Now.
Why is he flipping you off? I'm just kidding, he's not.
He is live in the studio with us. We're going to bring him out in just one short minute. Let me go through these announcements. First,
I'll let you get through them
thank you.
in just 1 second. Okay, go.
All right, thanks. Today is I'm going to murder it if I try to say it correctly.
What?
Dia de los Muertos.
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Celebration of our ancestry, celebration of those who have come on before, and a good time to just look back, reflect, and remember who we are and whose we are, where we belong. And if you don't feel like you belong anywhere, you belong here. That's why we call you family. So Halloween is over. That's fun. On December 1st, we have two exciting things that are going to happen in the business center. The first one, I can't say the more important one, but the first one is the business center. I forecast using my magic crystal ball that the business center will start to snow. I said the business center. I meant the back office. We haven't called it business center in a long time.
It's all right.
The back office
what I
will
call it.
start to snow.
Yes, it will. That's a month out.
That is December 1st.
It's quite the weather forecast.
I'm feeling it. So here's the deal. Look forward to that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to enjoy it for the entire month of December. And I believe it goes all the way through January.
I think it does.
And then
I've confirmed it does.
sweet, you are good at that. The other announcement that I wanted to make, the other thing that takes place on December 1st is when we start the ICM renewal process. Now, last week we told a story about Bob Tierney saying that somebody had attended the regional and came up to him and said something to the effect of, man, if I had known it was going to be this good, I would have invited more people, right? We hear
How
that
many times?
all the time,
I had a
right?
nickel for every time I heard that.
You would have several nickels.
I would have a tank of gas.
That's actually a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
So
That's how many times I've heard that. It's a lot.
So here's the point of why I'm bringing that up is because every year we hear that people have forgot to renew their ICM, right? They leave it to the last minute. They forget about it. They put it off. They whatever. Don't be that guy, right? Don't be that gal. Just take care of it. Get in there December 1st. Get it renewed so you don't even run the risk at all.
I have a new Renatus 30-day challenge.
Ooh.
Get renewed in 30 days.
You know what? I like it.
Yeah.
The
You've
reward.
got 30. It's actually 31, isn't it? In
It is
December.
31.
So you got 31 days
31
in December
days.
to go get renewed.
The reward for anybody who renews in those 31 days is they are guaranteed not to lose access to any of their information.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the deal. As of January 1st, all ICM functions for anybody who does not renew will be locked. It's no longer going to be available. You have to renew to unlock those features.
What happens if I want to enter an order?
No go.
What happens if I want to look at my commissions?
No go.
What happens if I want to see a document?
Nope.
What happens if I want to update my ACH?
That one you can actually still do.
Can you? I was
You
trying
can.
to find something.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
You can, and your education will be unaffected. Period.
Yeah,
You'll still be able to view your education. No
well,
problem.
unless you don't make, if you're on billing and you don't make that payment too. So
Well, that's a whole
that's
different
a whole
story.
nother.
That's a whole other
Yeah,
story.
It is.
But here's the deal. All of your ICM functionality will be locked down. You won't be able to do anything as of January 1st. We do have a grace period, a little bit of a grace period, so that if you, for whatever reason, miss the December 31st cutoff, you've got a little bit of time that you can get in there and still complete your renewal. But man alive, please do not plan on that. Instead, plan on taking care of it on December 1st.
Yeah, because it's the 31-day challenge. It's not the 31-day challenge plus grace period.
So here's the deal. If you fail to renew, you will lose all qualification progress. You lose all of your leads and downline. You lose all of the ICM goodness, and any commissions that you may have, could have, should have earned, you lose. So don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your business. Just get it renewed. Get it renewed on time. Take care of it on December 1st. Go into your business, your back office. I said business center again. I don't know what I'm on. It's this guy's fault. Go into your back office though.
Yeah, I blame him too.
Hey, who are you?
I'm looking at the camera too. Nobody can tell who I'm pointing to. I'm
there,
to
now
Jay.
I'm pointing at you.
I'm pointing
Look at
at
that.
Jay.
Look at that. I'm pointing at you right there on the camera.
That's not me.
Looks like you.
That's our guest.
That looks like you though. Look at.
Boy, what a cool thing if they had a camera that was over there that you could see the whole thing and you could figure out what we're actually doing over here.
Well, it's right there. Right there. Anyway, here's the deal. So get renewed. All right. End of announcements. I have no more announcements.
Okay.
What I want to do is I want to bring out our featured guest.
Who's our featured guest?
Our featured guest is a longtime listener, not first-time caller. Second time caller? I believe second-time caller.
I'm pretty sure it's the second time.
Third, 12th, 95th. Second-time caller. Long-time listener, second-time caller. He has been on the show once before, but is with us yet again. He is one of our all-time favorites, and not just because he looks pretty fly, but it's also because he's actually the longest-serving employee of Renatus outside of Bob Snyder.
Yeah.
He has been a part of every single code change since the very beginning. When we look at, for any of those of you who have been with us since the very beginning, you have felt the effect and influence of his many, many efforts for years without maybe even knowing that he was the one who was serving you silently behind the scenes, making sure that the business center, see, I got that one right,
that one is
operated
right,
properly. And then as we transitioned into Helios and the back office, he has been a part of every release. He's been a part of every single feature request. He's been a part of, if not instrumental, and the author of so many of the design and functionality of our entire system. He is the sole creator of the Velocity Banking app and is also the Helios app, right? The back office app is 100% his baby as well. He's not only all of these things, but he is also my good friend. He and I have worked together for over 11 years now, and in fact, we spent our first year at a desk that was just a little bit bigger than this, staring at each other and singing songs together and learning the ins and outs of Renatus together. So please join me in welcoming to our podcast he who has written almost every line of code inside of the Renatus software, Mr. Adam Cloud.
Thank you for that warm welcome.
Oh, you are very welcome. And I could go on and on. You and I have 11 plus years of experience together. You're one of my longest coworkers ever.
I have spent a third of my life working alongside you.
Wow.
Oh, that makes me feel old. Because I can't say the same.
Forever young.
A quarter? It's a quarter of your life.
It is a quarter. It is a quarter. So
Can I just say something real quick, though?
Of course.
So if you choose to wait on your renewals, something else, another side effect of that is that you cause me to frown.
Oh.
And that's not okay.
Don't do that.
That essentially makes you a bad person.
That's like...
Because I like smiling.
That's like kicking a Care Bear.
Yeah, why would you do that?
Don't do that.
Yeah.
So Mr. Cloud, you have seen the evolution and progression of all things inside of Renatus. You have been part of, if not instrumental, in so many of the decisions that have been made and so many of the meetings and conversations. And in fact, sometimes I feel like you and I spend more time together than I do with my wife or kids, and that's
I hope
lots. Well, we spend a lot of time together sometimes.
I definitely do, because I don't have those yet. Single.
That's right.
Okay.
To all of our lady listeners out there.
Oh my gosh.
If me and AJ come away from this podcast
with dates.
yeah, possibilities.
Heck yeah.
Oh man.
We here at Renatus, I mean, so far every major event we've held, there's been a proposal at. So the leaders retreat, the national,
Yep.
the leaders retreat before that, the national before that. Like, it's been nuts, right? So multiples. Didn't we have two? We had two at the leaders retreat.
Yeah, we did.
Do you have like a waiting
proposals.
list? People have to sign up in advance to.
No,
reserve
it's
their
one of
slot?
those things where they usually walk up to me like while Bob is talking and they say, "Hey, can I get the mic for like 2 minutes?" Which I know is code for I need 15 minutes with a microphone in my hand and a captive audience.
Yeah.
So,
But we love it.
oh
we
yeah,
want
we
you.
absolutely do.
We endorse love here at Renatus.
We do. We love love.
We do.
But and Adam's a perfect example of that. In fact, I'll never forget. Adam came to me one time and just said, "I'm trying to think of exactly how you said it. It was something to the effect of, anytime you need a hug, I'm here for you." And he gave me a hug.
I'm a hugger.
He's a hugger. So we love love, man. We're all about sharing the love here.
Yeah. Plus,
So-
he drives a Tesla, ladies.
Oh my gosh. We are not trying to set Adam up here. That is not the point of this.
What did you
am.
invite me on for?
I told him I told him we were gonna get him a date.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
I'm just kidding.
And what was the purpose of teaching me to?
To stop
Oh,
that.
that was a conversation. So you all know. So if I'm back here talking, you can't hear me, right? So Adam was like, "How close to the mic do I need to be?" And I said, "In case you need to be close enough that if you need to defensively lick it, you can do so." That's what I said, and so he's been on that
Wow.
kick ever since.
We are like,
You
We're gonna have to go
You
back
got
to
two
the
left turns.
fist,
Yeah.
the
We're just
fist
doing-
away, right?
yeah, we're
but
gonna
the
have to go
problem
back
is
to
that
the.
it's really like half a, or maybe I got a fat fist. Half a fist is really a good.
Maybe we should. Isn't a shot 3 fingers? So maybe we should say that from now on.
Is a shot 3 fingers?
But
Is that's a
Where
thing
will
I've
you
never
get those fun
I've
little
never
anecdotes
heard.
from your guests? If you go to
Yeah,
you know
that's
how-
true.
How many fingers a shot is?
no,
I don't
I
either.
think it's 3.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. But here's the deal. Getting back, to the topic at hand, which is
Boring.
Renatus. Boring. Oh my gosh. Let me ask
We
you
got
this.
2 left turns over here.
Let me
This
ask
is
you this,
great.
Adam. You, you've been a raving fan of Renatus forever. I don't even remember a time when you weren't. Was there an experience, or maybe not just this is the experience, but maybe tell me an experience where you truly felt the I almost said the weight of the company. I don't mean the weight of the company.
feel the weight
But
of
I
the
mean
company
the
all the
banner
time.
of the company.
banner.
When did you feel that really move from your head to your heart? At what point did you no longer have a job, but instead were a representative of
Yeah, why didn't you leave when
Renatus?
it got hard?
Okay, so this actually happened very early on working, and I think maybe you know this story, but I don't know that Matt knows the story. Most people don't know the story, but
I don't think I do.
I want to say maybe 2 months into working at Renatus, I was actually offered twice as much as I was being paid here to go back to my old company.
Wow.
And like, on one hand, that is a life-changing amount of money. Like people
Oh,
grow
yeah.
into their raises, and just become poorer at a higher level.
Yep.
Yeah.
But like to have that kind of life-changing money, you can pay off your bills, you can get out ahead of things, and but I had already been working there at Renatus alongside Randall, and then I think you were right around the same time
Yeah.
that this was happening. That and working with Bob and the leadership and the trust. I've never worked for somebody who wasn't trying to micromanage my every move, who trusted me enough to get the job done. And even though I was offered twice as much to go back, I was already enrolled in the division. Getting to talk with people on the phones early on, like most of us who early on, we pulled double duty, so we had our role, but then we also had to take calls. And
At least double duty. In your case, it was triple duty.
and so man, I turned him down because I just couldn't fathom going. I already knew the deck of cards that I was playing with at the old company, and I didn't like it. And I was already a fan of the new company and the leadership and the clarity of vision. And I mean, how many companies actually have like their mission statement on the wall that as you walk in you get to see it?
Yeah.
And so for me, it happened early on, and it was just through working there, and so I turned it down. And you know, word got around. I never told Bob, but word got around through my brother Randall, to him, and so he brought me into his office to thank me. And at the beginning, he's like, "Look, I can't really give you much a bump right now because we just started and gave you what I could. But what I can promise you is as the company continues to expand, that we'll continue to make sure that you're fairly compensated." And he's been a man of his word. I've never had to go and say a word. Whereas the old company, like I had to, and this is no joke, I would literally write an essay, like a speech, and I'd practice this with my dad, with my girlfriend at the time, of why I deserved a raise.
Right.
And I get like a 25-cent measly raise, And so to go from that to like somebody who is their word and without having to ask them, like, if there wasn't all like, I just became a real big fan of Bob, and where I love that the company, like the education that we provide, as I understand that kind of education, normally you have to already be making lots of money, and then the bank's like, hey, let us give you some tidbits on how you can better make your money work for you. And this is the kind of stuff that like I wish we taught in schools. How to make the system work for you rather than continuing to work for the system.
Right. Yeah.
And so just the whole premise of Renatus, I love.
Yeah, me too. And I love how you talked about how there's so much in the way that our education has been designed that is a reflection of Bob and his desire to truly empower people, and how you felt empowered even though you didn't necessarily feel like you were getting all the money in the world, but you were inspired by what we were creating and what we're doing. And I mean, it's a testament to the fact that you're here, 11 plus years later. I mean, we're coming up on 12 years actually. Yep. Now that I do the math in my head, because at the end of the year, it's 12 years.
That's right.
Wow. January 1st, 2001.
2011, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's amazing. And hearing being committed to Bob, I'm right there with you. It is so easy when you spend any amount of time with him to feel of his authenticity and his desire to serve. And then that rubs off on the staff, where we are all empowered to serve. And we don't consider it going above and beyond for somebody. We just think of it as another day. We just serve. We just help. Mm-hmm. And as we can help, we do, and we get to see the results of that.
What do you think, Matt? Do you like that guy?
Pretty fond of him.
Nice. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I really do. But I also feel the same way, right? Like he keeps his word. It's a really good work environment. So, So just mission aside, like the beauty of helping people and seeing their lives change, for the better. I love that, right? I love to hear these stories, and that gives me fuel. But aside from that, it's a wonderful work environment. It's a very positive place.
Well, and it's easy to commit to, even to sacrifice for somebody who keeps their word and who is consistently showing up every single day in the same way.
Well, and not just keeps his word, but stories I can't tell, but that I got to witness in the early, like throughout the first year, and then continued on, where people who he felt were wronged, and not by him, but he just in the community, he took care of.
Yeah, we could tell stories.
And
we can't.
He went out of his way to do it.
We can't tell stories. We won't tell stories. But we know of many times, you're absolutely right, when he was in no wrong and yet still went out of his way to
stepped up to make it
to make people
right.
whole.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few of those stories where
but he doesn't seek the glory.
No.
But for those of us that are close to him, we're committed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you remember when we were in the exercise room?
Oh, I remember.
In the itty bitty little office that me, you, and Randall all shared, one office. Do you remember when we used to write the entire comp plan up on the board? And I shouldn't call it a board. It was mirrors. We used the mirrors in the exercise room.
The exercise room mirrors.
To write out the comp plan.
It looked cool.
It did. It actually did look cool.
I do remember that. But what I also remember is that long before Matt ever worked alongside of us, he was still, being a part of us, because he would swing by and I had a bunch of Mountain Dew, and he'd partake of my Mountain Dew stash that I offered him. He wasn't just taking it.
Yeah,
Back when I was addicted to Mountain Dew.
I stopped.
Nice.
I stopped in that room, or stopped by that room, I should say, probably.
Regularly.
Yeah, a few times a day, maybe twice a day at least.
Yeah.
So
Just trying to buy his love.
that's right, trying to buy love. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's funny that you guys never took down the Band-Aid.
Oh man, that Band-Aid was on there until we moved that thing.
I
So
know.
all right, here's the deal. There was a machine. There was a single piece of equipment still in the room.
Right, but it's like a multi
Yeah, it's
exercise machine
Some of
with
it's
the
got
arms
these
that move.
two arms that kind of moved back and forth that were
Yeah.
that had the cables on them connected to the weight stack in the middle.
Yep.
And you had a picture of
Jay Cutler.
Yeah, Jay
not,
Cutler.
Not the football player.
No.
The bodybuilder. Yeah.
And for whatever reason, it was stuck on the front of this machine with a Band-Aid.
Well, I mean, at the time, I was, in the gym like 2 hours a day every day, and for a long time that was my gym. It wasn't at the time that you guys moved into it, right?
But why a Band-Aid?
Because I couldn't find tape.
Resourceful.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Hey,
There it is.
that's the kind of people we want around here. So I couldn't find tape. Found a Band-Aid. Hey, this will work.
That's not how the IT department is run. We don't use Band-Aids.
Well, that's
We
good.
fix the
That's
problem.
good. Or just treating the symptom there. But I think that I fully appreciated your level of, I'll call it crazy, your level of enthusiasm, exuberance when we went out to the Knolls. So for was it the second national or the first national? Hang on. It was the second national conference. So this would have been in 2012 that we did this. Yeah,
Wait,
that's right.
Because
we were no longer in the
been
basement.
Wouldn't have been 2012.
It was 2012 that we
No,
made
'cause
the
that would-
video for 2013.
When was the first national?
In 2012.
Yeah, so this would have been 20.
Yes, but we shot this video in 2012
I
that
see.
we then premiered in 2013.
I understand now.
This was for the 2013 national conference that we titled Mission Possible.
Mm-hmm.
And we did this spoof video of like Mission Impossible, only we were the agents that were making it possible.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And there was rocking out in the truck to Justin Bieber. But we get there, and we did kind of this faux military type of setup where we were being all funny about it. And I just remember I had this handheld shotgun that was in like a holster. I don't even remember. It was crazy. But I appreciated Adam's craziness on a four-wheeler because he was fearless. I don't know how much experience you had on a four-wheeler at that point
Zero
in time.
up to that point.
But he just pinned it. He's like, boom, and I'm like, we're going along the salt flats, right?
Yeah.
Going out to the dunes.
Yep.
And I'm feeling, I'm hitting 50 miles an hour, and I can feel this thing just, floating on top of the,
Bro, that's exactly what they do.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I have done that many a time.
And
Yeah.
Adam just had it pinned and
Yeah.
was just flying out there. I'll never forget that. That
was fun. It was fun.
But that's when I just realized that you're a little off in the head, kind of like I am. That you are you're willing to stretch yourself and push yourself beyond your current confined limits, and will trust because Bob taught him how to ride in a matter of minutes, and you were gone. It was awesome. And in fact, I think I was the only one that even wrecked, and for me, it was a little wreck.
Yeah, you wrecked the
little one.
four-wheeler? I didn't hear about this.
Well, so I rolled it, but I rolled it on a sand dune.
Okay.
And so it wasn't like
There was no damage.
there was no damage. That's not
yeah,
true.
but-
I broke the 1 inch of those fiberglass poles off, those flags that are on the back of the four-wheelers.
Oh, yeah.
I broke
yeah.
one of those off, and so I just had to
Yeah.
break the end up and put it
Yeah,
down an inch.
with like
So-
a $15 flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From my end, you guys were talking about earlier about that feeling of anxiety. I think you were talking about
yeah.
AJ.
Yep.
And I've always viewed that feeling of anxiety as like the physical manifestation of anxiety and excitement are the same thing. And if I'm feeling like there's so many things that come into my space that I don't feel anxiety over at all. And if I feel anxiety over it when it's like I'm at choice and I can either choose to do this thing or not, like if I'm about to go jump off of a cliff into the water like at Lake Powell, the moment that in my mind I've decided that I'm going to do it, that's when I get that anxiety. And so for me, when I feel it, to me that's a confirmation that I've already decided I'm going to do this. So I might as well do it well and have fun doing it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that, because there are so many things in this life that if we allowed, could scare us to pieces, right? And our anxiety about that thing could stop us. But I love how you use that as fuel, that you're like, yeah, when I feel that feeling, I get excited because I know that means I'm going to do that thing, whatever it is. That's awesome. That's way cool. So Adam, sum up for me. I mean, we talked about your commitments to Bob and how you feel about him. Talk to me about, because you are so good at empathizing with people. So tell me about the family. Tell me about how that has affected you.
So I am an extrovert, and so I love people, but I love the Renatus community. I look forward to the Nationals every year, and when we didn't have it in person, that sucked so much.
Yep.
I want to say it was year 4 or conference 3 or 4 where finally started enrolling everybody into hugs, like, because there was a little bit of hugging that went on, but it wasn't as like widespread as it then became.
Right.
It is now. And I don't know, for me, being able to, it's one thing to connect with people over the phone, because some people do get, after you handle the reason why you're on the phone, you get a little bit of the personal touch, but remote communication, you only get so much of the communication. You get the tone, you get the words, but to have the body language, the facial expressions, like all the micro expressions, like I pay attention to those things, and then I watch how everyone interacts with each other. And so to remember that every person that is in the community isn't just another person who is consuming the education, isn't just another marketer. They are a person just like me, who just wants to be loved, who just wants to learn, who wants to expand their experiences here on. It's fulfilling.
Right on.
In fact, that's the word earlier when you said, I don't think happy is the right word, because happiness is fleeting.
Yeah.
And the things that last, it's because they're fulfilling, and the happiness can be recreated over and over.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a great way to put that.
I really love that. I tell you what, Adam, on behalf of the tens of thousands of people whose lives you've affected, whether they know it or not, let me just say thank you. I know that what you do, it can, honestly, if you do it well, go very much unnoticed, right? People don't seem to pay attention when it goes right. They pay attention when it goes wrong.
Just the moment.
And so
there's a blip,
right,
in the matrix.
So I know that it can seem like so many times people are coming to you with problems, complaints, issues, but the fact that you are able to manage everything is, one, a testament to who you are, but it's also a testament to your work ethic and ability, because you don't have more complaints than you can handle. You know what I mean? And the fact that you are, I mean, you took what we started with, which was really just a patchwork of code and different, just bad. It was there. Sorry, I wasn't trying to unlock Pandora's box there, but you started with a certain code set, and then we're able to refine it, and then we were able to create our own inside of Helios in the back office. And then you've also learned how to code inside of mobile with the app development that you've done. It's just awesome. It's awesome to see as you've progressed, because as you've progressed, the company has progressed with you, and we've been able to realize just how many more people we can affect because of your efforts.
Well, I appreciate that. I didn't know what I was coming on for. They didn't give me a topic. Apparently, it was just to make me blush.
That's what I do.
But I do want to take a moment to express gratitude to all the people who I've gotten to work alongside throughout the decade plus that I've worked here. We've had many people come and go. Many people move on to passions that they've been putting off because they were finally in a position to do so. But like all throughout the growth that we've had, I wouldn't. It feels like I have just enough people to support me to manage the workload that we have, and like even right now, like one of somebody who I lean on so much for what I do is Pradeep, and so I'd be remiss to let this podcast go on without making sure I acknowledge him and thank him. And
we should try to get Pradeep on this podcast
Yes.
sometime.
That'd
be fun.
That would be cool.
but not remote. He needs to come in person.
Yeah, you hear that?
How do
Pradeep?
we get him here?
Airplane.
Pradeep, I hope you're
I
listening.
think we use an
Well,
airplane.
You guys saw a couple years back when I got to embrace my Dr. Evil side.
Uh-huh.
Like I have no qualms with tying him up and putting him back in my Tesla. Like I can turn that thing into a very comfy.
Nice. That's awesome. So it is, yeah. It's awesome that you're taking opportunity to recognize the other people that have supported you as well. Let me just ask: was there any moment when the community that you serve became real to you? Like somebody gave a face to the people that you serve, whether it was at the national conference or at another event or opportunity that you attended?
Pulling on a decade plus of those experiences, they kind of muddle together.
You can just pull one. It doesn't have to be like the first one. It doesn't. Yeah.
It's interesting because I feel like, and maybe it's because of the role that I play in the company where I'm kind of behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the people that I notice, and I'm hesitant to name names because I don't want to. If I miss somebody, I don't want to.
Gotcha.
But
see, that's what I was trying to pull out of you.
I know, but I notice the unsung heroes behind the scenes, the people who like I notice when some of you are doing your Zoom calls on Facebook every single day, and when you're out at events and you're serving, like the servant leadership that we have in this community is definitely something to admire. And not all of them get the credit that I feel like they deserve, and that's actually one of the reasons I'm grateful for how into awards Bob is, because that's like the one time, if they do get acknowledged, it's the one time that they do get acknowledged.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so throughout the years, it's been seeing those people who are doing it because they love serving, and it's just an energy, obviously, that I resonate with. So
awesome. That's awesome. All right, so as we're wrapping it up here, any last words of advice, any other thoughts that you wanted to share?
Ironically, one of these people who is a servant leader, hold on, this is falling. So earlier you were talking about Do Hard Things from David Goggins.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another Navy SEAL wrote a book called Fortitude, Congressman Crenshaw, and in there he talked about do something that is hard every day.
Yeah.
And even if it's something as simple as and as simple as a cold shower. And I remember hearing that, and I didn't act on it when I first heard it. But then I saw somebody in our community posting about her she decided to start doing cold showers. I'm like, if she can do it, I can do it. So I did it. It was hard. it was hard. But I did it, and every day, like I've like, especially like if I'm ever feeling down emotionally, I sometimes will do that as a result. I was like, I'll go take a cold shower because that is hard for me, and if I feel like I've done something hard, then I feel accomplished, and I can ride that energy into something else.
Yes.
And each one of those accomplishments is like checking a task off your list where you're just getting that dopamine, and
Yep.
so you can just keep riding that into doing more and more, and
Awesome. So David Goggins actually calls that the cookie jar.
the cookie jar.
Yeah, he just puts them in that cookie jar, right? Anytime he checks something off, he puts it there. And then when he is defeated, depressed, hurt, whatever, he goes back to those successes so that he can relive that fulfillment, that moment when that energy overcame him and he was able to do an impossible task. So that's awesome. That's really, really cool. I love how much you interact with the family online, especially in social circles. That's super cool.
I see you guys.
Oh man, but Adam, you're a rock star, man. Renatus rocks because of people like you. Thank you. Thank you.
Couldn't agree more.
Thanks, Matt.
All right. With that, we're going to go ahead and end the podcast. We will be back next Wednesday with another featured guest, and we'll have more exciting announcements. We went through a couple of features today in our meeting that I haven't brought up yet, so maybe by next Wednesday I'll be able to share about them. Share what we're
I was
doing.
going to drop some phrases and leave you scrambling.
Thank you for not doing that. I appreciate.
I forgot to put it in my notes.
Good.
Sorry.
No, I'm glad you didn't put it in your notes. I don't want to be. I like being the one to let cats out of bags. I don't like anyone else doing it.
All right.
Anyway, we will be back next Wednesday. Don't forget that the reason why Renatus rocks is because of people like Adam, people like Matt, and people like you. Thanks for being with us. Renatus rocks.